Hey everybody, it's Jessica DeMassa with WTF Health. What's the future of health? I am talking to the who's who of health tech and healthcare innovation. And today I have with me Ardy Arianpour. He is the CEO of Seekster. And Seekster, for those of you who don't know, is one of those companies that is bringing together all different kinds of disparate healthcare data, pulling it together so that we can use it and get insights and analytics from it in real time. But we are going to find out what all that means. Ardy, it's great to have you here.
Jessica, thank you so much for having me on WTF Health. We've been wanting to be on your show for quite some time. I'm so glad we were able to find some time finally to do this.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you guys are hot now, Ardy. What's going on? $23 million you guys have raised. You closed a couple rounds last year in 2021. You've got some big names on your cap table. 23andMe's co-founder and CEO, Anne Wojcicki, is on there, Takeda. I want to get into all that. But before we do, talk to me about what Seekster does, because I feel like, as with a lot of health tech data startups, there's a lot of like nodding, like, oh yeah, it does this, but the real understanding of an appreciation of what it is you guys do might be lost on us. So introduce us to Seekster and tell us what you guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Seekster is the leading healthcare technology company that breaks down health data silos at scale.
Okay.
Our enterprise SaaS platforms aggregate disparate health data sources into a single 360-degree view of a patient in real time, which solves a multitude of challenges, as you know, for life sciences, patient engagement, and data interoperability. We have nationwide coverage of all of the EMRs and EHRs from hospitals and medical groups. Millions of DNA genomic profiles, 400 plus wearable, pharmacy, social determinants of health data, all of this, amazing data that has unfortunately been siloed. Our system quickly, rapidly unsilos that data and creates a longitudinal health record, which everyone in the industry is looking for, as you know.
All right. So explain that to me a little bit deeper, because I want to make sure I understand. So are you guys like a single patient record company, like something of the ilk of like a bWell or like a Picnic Health? Or are you guys more like the analytics layer on top of it, doing the stuff that like a Komodo Health or a Clarify Health would do in terms of looking at all that data and helping us find the insights from it? Like, where does Seekster fit into this mix?
Yeah, this is what's so special about Seekster, Jessica. And I'm so excited to talk to you about this today because we have finally figured out really what we are.
Okay,
and,
great.
we were the first what the fuck company by, Matthew Bolt, right? Bolty boy, as we call him. And, we're the operating system for digital health. We're the operating system for decentralized trials, for clinical trials. We're the operating system for patient registries, and we'll get into that with some of our, recent announcements. We're the operating system for patient engagement. So all of those companies that you mentioned are great companies. They can actually utilize our sophisticated, tech stack that is so powerful that our team has spent 6 years really engineering. And, we've created something that just didn't exist before. And you know how hard interoperability is since you've been in, digital health for so long.
I do. And I want to hear a little bit more about this whole operating system approach that you guys are taking. So maybe let's bring it to life, Ardy. Let's try that. You mentioned that you guys are you've signed some new partnership deals, patient registry. I know you guys are very involved with life sciences companies in terms of clinical trials. So why don't you give me like a specific example of like what Seekster does in the context of one of those?
Yeah, so we can start with Takeda first.
Sure.
In 2020, Takeda came to us because we were, I guess, the number one idea out of 300 ideas that they had. And after purchasing Shire for 60-something billion, their first investment was actually Seekster because they were looking for an acceleration for their patient engagement platform. We became their patient engagement platform for clinical trials. Takeda was so helpful in bringing on hundreds of their incredible folks and also some management consulting companies that they use. And we were able to build out all the fire, that goes into the Seekster, as well as a lot of the, different tool sets that we just didn't have from our vision from the beginning when we founded Seekster in 2016. The use case that I can share with you, on your show here with Takeda is really simple. It's, if you're looking to deploy at scale 1,000, 10,000, 1 million patients for, let's say, a rare disease study or an oncology study, how do you get patients to be empowered to collect and own and share their data on their terms, at the same time allow researchers to look at that de-identified data? This is where our operating system for clinical trials comes in, right? Or decentralized trials or hybrid trials now, since COVID has hit and our business has really, exploded ever since the pandemic. But that's one. Another example is our recent partnership with the National Pancreas Foundation of the United States. And that was just announced, recently, a couple of weeks ago, where we are the dynamic patient registry operating system for their, patients. And so we bring life to that patient registry because we've created this incredible technology that connects the dots of health data, the patients, as well as the enterprise's interest in advancing medicine, science, drug discovery, whatever that use case is, right?
Okay, so let me make sure I got this. So like when you're in that situation, so the patient is interfacing with Seekster, and Seekster is able to get like the wearable data, all of that at-home data from the patient, and then behind the scenes pull in the EMR data, the claims data, the other data that might be out there. Is that right?
So it can be right.
Fix it. Fix it, Ardy.
But I'm glad that you brought that up so that everyone can understand. We built this for the consumer at the beginning, and then we quickly realized, after I met with Bill Gates actually in 2018, and he told me, hey, look, you got to take this to enterprise because you have something that can really scale. Why help 1 or 2 patients when you can help, 200 million patients? And so we focused on that ever since 2018, and we created our white label, operating system, which gets white labeled for Takeda, for Pfizer, for whoever that we're dealing with on, let's say, the pharma end. On the patient registries, the same thing. NPF has white labeled our technology and platform. We're basically the Intel Inside, right? But it's your platform. So whatever digital health company you are, we're the operating system for your company. Whatever decentralized trial you're running, we're the operating system for all those decentralized trials. This is what's so interesting about our business model. We've really created what some people call the Salesforce.com business model for healthcare.
Okay, I get it now, Ardy. I think I got it. So it's like that was actually really helpful. I'm glad that you corrected my understanding of what you were saying. So the patient never sees Seekster. They just interact with a healthcare organization they've got a relationship with, but behind the scenes, that's where you're working your magic and you're pulling all of those data feeds together and helping the organization optimize their view of that patient.
That's right. And it's all operated by the patients, right? So they connect whatever data they want, right? They get to invite whatever family members they want. They also get to, consent what data they want to share if they're in a clinical trial or whatever the use case is.
Okay. So why don't you talk to me a little bit, now that we understand kind of how it works, talk to me a little bit about the different clients that you have. Because like we've been, when talking through in these examples, we're flipping back and forth between, nonprofit, patient-facing organization, life sciences companies. Talk to me a little bit about who your current customers are, and maybe some of the new deals that you guys have announced. You're having a pretty great 2022 already. So yeah, give me a little bit of an insight on who you're working with.
Yeah, we said, 2022, we're coming for you. And that's exactly what, Team Seekster has been doing. We couldn't be more proud of the team and what they've been able to accomplish. So, we have flagship pharma clients at our stage to be able to, create something out of the box ready that can be deployed in 24 hours at scale, where flagship enterprises are white labeling our technology. It speaks so much to what we've been able to accomplish as you know, you've been tracking the company for a couple of years now. Secondly, we talked about our patient registry foundations, NPF being our newest, deal that we just announced. And then as of, this morning, we announced our partnership with UBC, United Biosource, which is a major CRO in decentralized trials. And we are the operating system for their decentralized trials. So think about this: patient registries, CROs, pharma. What do you think is going to be coming next?
Can't wait to find out, Ardy. Never a dull moment here. All right, what I do want to talk about though next, which is maybe is a great foreshadowing of where you're headed. Your participation in Olive's library. So Olive, the healthcare automation company building the Internet of Healthcare, Sean Lane over there, the CEO, announced at the end of last year, at the end of 2021, that they've put up this library, and they've taken in like a couple dozen, I think, different companies that they've listed as like the inaugural class of their partners in launching this service that helps their health system clients and the provider organizations that they work with, which is an impressive number around the country. Lets them, pick Seekster or pick some of these other companies to work with as well, all through the Olive platform. So Ardy, talk to me about that relationship there, and maybe, what this looks like for Seekster when you move into the health system world.
Yeah, no, and it's funny, we almost forgot about all the other great stuff that we did, last year, right? I didn't even touch base on that, but Olive and Sean Lane, fantastic partners, as you guys know. They're able to really pave the road on the automation front for payers and providers. And they came to us. We are the first company to ignite their marketplace, number one. Number two, we're bringing real-time, real-world data for providers and payers through their marketplace. So we couldn't be more excited than that. But really, what it's really about, if you look at what Olive's trying to do, if you're really trying to create the Internet of Healthcare, you need Seekster in order to power that on the back end. Because without data and without patients and without all the connections, you can't actually create the Internet of Healthcare. And so the biggest significance, I think, there is Olive plus Seekster really does equal the Internet of Healthcare. We couldn't be more excited about, how that's going to take us into some new markets and verticals, and not just in the life sciences where we've been having so much success.
All right, what can you tell us about that? I mean, I think let's wrap this up by talking about what's next for Seekster. So, you guys have been around, like you said, since 2016. So 6 years here. You're well funded, and like I said before, it's interesting to me that you've got the DNA data pull and your relationship with 23andMe co-founder Anwajiki. So what's next for the business as you look ahead, Ardy, in terms of scaling? Because truly, I feel like the last 2 years have been really pivotal for you guys, and it's exciting to see you grow. So what's on tap? What are you going to ignite next? I love that word.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, I think our flagship pharma, CRO, patient registry partnerships are a clear example of how our system, our technology can fit in to so many different verticals, right? Number one, we created this premier operating system for life sciences, for digital health and beyond. And we talked a little bit about that. The nationwide interoperability with our patient engagement layer is what allows us to look even beyond life sciences. We were CMS ONC interoperability compliant before anyone else. And most people didn't even know that. And our powerful, proprietary, secure, and fucking incredible tech stack, sorry to say, is what makes the magic happen. And it's that the fact that we have an established award-winning brand now in the industry, a platform that is built by patients for patients, and we figured out this business model now, really allows us to look even beyond the regular segments. There's some big interest from consumer health. There's interest from pharmacies. We did do one digital pharmacy deal last year with Paragon, but it's not just limited to, and Seekster is not limited to just life sciences, healthcare in general, us being the operating system for healthcare. I think that's where you're going to see, some new, deals being announced with us in 2022.
All right, well, we can't wait to see those, and we'll have to come back and give us an update on how things are going as you roll that stuff out and enter into some of these new market areas in healthcare. Ardy, thanks so much. It's so interesting to learn about your business because, like I said, it's like Seekster, I feel like has been around for a while, but it really caught fire last year. I think ignite really is that perfect word, and it's exciting to hear about the stuff that you've got on tap for the year ahead and the foreseeable future.
Thanks so much, Jessica, for having me. And if anyone wants to learn more about Seekster, they can contact, us at any time or reach out to me directly.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Ardy. All right, guys, to hear more from the who's who of health tech, like our friend Ardy over here, please check out my YouTube channel over there at youtube.com/WTF Health. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. Pleasure learning about Seekster. I'm Jessica DeMassa. Thanks so much for joining us.